Part 90. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 895. In fact, people in the Laplace Demon Port area also know about this incident, but only a small number of people know the true ability of the Laplace Demon. Qin Ji's understanding of Laplace's demon is only from the mouths of Songkinga, Helena, and others. He only knows that Laplace's demon is a very powerful supercomputer, but as to how powerful it is and what information it can process operation, he is not very clear about these, but one thing that is clear is that the upgrading of this world is entirely the result of the full calculation of the Laplace demon. As for whether the barriers in the world can be broken down, Qin Ji didn't care. What he admired was the truth-seeking spirit of the iron-blooded people. Once you have decided on something, you should try your best to do it. Even if your head is bruised and bloody, that will be what happens later. Moreover, this matter may not necessarily lead to a bloody blow in the end, because it is all part of the plan. Commander doesn't seem to be excited at all. Don't you support this plan? Prince Eugen on the side keenly saw Qin Ji's deep thoughts and asked with some doubts. Qin Ji shook his head and said to Frederick the Great and Bismarck, who were looking over, "It's not that I'm not excited, nor that I don't support this plan. I'm just thinking that if we see the truth after that moment, how do we do this? Are you going to launch a final charge and end it all like a moth to a flame? Or should we endure it silently, regroup our strength, and wait for the next attack? Sometimes knowing too much doesn't mean it's a good thing. Of course, I'm not trying to dampen your enthusiasm. I just hope that you'd better be well prepared before doing this. The commander is right. What we need most now is time. As long as there is enough time, we can be fully prepared. Even if we break the barriers of the world and learn all the truth, we can retreat safely afterwards, or go further," said Bismarck. "Well, this is what I want to see. No matter what, you are all my ship girls. No matter what you choose, I will support you. Just like how you supported me before, so as long as you figure out how if you do it, then do it. Sometimes it's nice not to care too much about other people's opinions and to be a lone traveler on your own path," Qin Ji said with a smile. "Haha, I didn't expect the commander to say that," Prince Eugen laughed. "Ha, then what do you think I will say? Do you want to stop this plan?" "Do I just don't trust you that much," Qin Ji said with a smile. "We have gone through so many ups and downs. Whether we are fighting together or living together, the relationship between us has already surpassed the ordinary superior and subordinate. What's more, you are still my wedding ship. Although for ships, the meaning of the oath is to go further or to be an exclusive ship, but for me, a person from other worlds, the moment I put a ring on you, you are already my wife. From that moment on, there is no distinction between you and me. We are a whole relationship. As long as it is something you think is right, I will support you. If there are some changes in the future, then we will face it together. That's what I want to say today, so even if you hide something from me, I won't blame you or anything, because you also think about me." "Haha, when did Commander become so good at talking? Why can't I help but want to kiss you now?" "No, I can't bear it anymore," Prince Eugen said with a smile, and then walked up to Qin Ji and said she hugged him and kissed him hard. Qin Ji couldn't help but roll his eyes when he let go. "Is it necessary?" "Of course it is necessary. How lucky are we to have such an excellent commander who trusts us? Shouldn't we celebrate for this reason?" Prince Eugen said. "If you praise me like this again, I will be proud." Qin Ji smiled, supported Prince Eugen and looked at Bismarck and Frederick the Great, who were also smiling. "So is there anything more novel?" "No, it doesn't take too much planning, just be weird. There are still things like what the commander said. I will take you to see them next," Bismarck said with a smile. At this point, she already understood that what Qin Ji conveyed to her was to just let it go and do it. he would stand by her side and face it together no matter what the plan was or what impact it would have in the future. The visit to the experimental site lasted for a day. It was not until the sunset that Chin-Ji and Belfast left the experimental site and drove to the port area together. As for why Prince Eugen didn't follow, it was naturally because Chin-Ji asked her to stay there to work. For such a short distance, it was enough to be protected by a person from Belfast. "You haven't spoken much all day, Bifa." Chin-Ji looked at Belfast beside him and smiled. "Because I am by the master's side today. I am just a maid. I am responsible for taking good care of the master. There are some things I cannot judge." Belfast smiled. "Haha, you can see clearly." Chin-Ji smiled. "There are only two of us now, are there any doubts?" "Does the master really believe what Bismarck and the others said?" Belfast asked. "I believe it." "What's so strange about this?" Chin-Ji said with a smile. "But penetrating the wall of the world or something, it sounds very—" Belfast did not continue, but what she wanted to express was already very clear. "That's outrageous." Chin-Ji shook his head. "I do believe them on this point. As long as the energy is big enough, it can tear the edges of this world apart." "Why is the master so sure?" "Does it mean that the master knows something?" Belfast asked strangely. Chin-Ji smiled and said, "Don't try to trick me. I do know some secret things, but I can't tell you yet, because after I tell you, this stage can no longer continue. In short, the time until the end is very fast, and then you will know what all this is going on." Belfast smiled and said, "Well, since the master already has his own plan, I won't say anything more. In fact, what I remember most today is what the master said before, so those are the things he said to for all of us." Chin-Ji nodded. "Yes, I will always trust you and stay with you until the end of my life. I will always accompany the master. No matter what the future holds, I will always stand by the master's side and dedicate my life to you," Belfast said. "Haha, I've already felt it," Chin-Ji said with a smile, "but the most important thing now is to return to the port area as soon as possible. Who would have known that there is no place to eat in the experimental field of Nyo University? Speaking of which, there were only ship girls there, and it seemed that they only prepared some food for the ship girls to eat. Is that natural? Then let's speed up, master." My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 896. The time in the port area has gradually come to late autumn, but for Guam, there is not much difference between late autumn and summer. Perhaps you will not feel much difference all year round. However, it rained a lot during this period, so I basically spent very little time outside. Most of the ship girls are either staying in their rooms or in the academy. Of course, the major camp buildings are also full of people. Due to the storm and some illness, Chin-Ji did not go to the office today. Today's documents were all brought here by Giuseppe as secretary. "Are there any documents left today?" After Chin-Ji finished processing the documents in front of him, he turned to look at Giuseppe and asked. "No more." Giuseppe smiled and said, "Actually, there hasn't been much happening recently. Commander, you can take advantage of the heavy rain to relax. There are so many children in the port area to assist you. It's okay to rely on them occasionally." Bar. Chin-Ji smiled and closed the document, "Because I don't want to make excuses for myself. Although I can push everything out and others will handle it well, I will lose my responsibility as a commander. Therefore, no matter how little things happen in the port area, documents must be processed every day. This is a commander's basic responsibility for the port area." "Haha, okay." Giuseppe smiled, "then the next patrol commander won't go." Chin-Ji touched his nose and said, "Actually, I want to go, but for some reason, I seem to have caught a slight cold due to the storm in the past 2 days. Otherwise, Guanghui and the others wouldn't have refused to let me go to the office. In that case, The rest of the patrol will be left to me. By the way, Commander, what do you want to do this afternoon? Giuseppe asked. In the afternoon? Guanghui invited me to a tea party, and there won't be anything else going on, Qin Ji said. Understood. Then after the patrol, I will go back to find Sister Abruzzi. If there is anything, Commander, please contact me at any time, Giuseppe said. Well, I understand, Qin Ji nodded. Not long after Giuseppe left, Belfast walked into Qin Ji's room. Master, are you feeling better now? Belfast asked. It's okay, it's just a little cold, don't make such a fuss. And haven't I already seen the kitchen goddess? You don't believe my words, don't you still believe the kitchen god's words? Qin Ji said helplessly. Haha, how could it be? I naturally believe what the master says. But the master's body is related to the stability of the port area, so we still have to pay more attention to such things, Belfast said. You have paid enough attention to it, or I think you have paid too much attention to it. Qin Ji smiled helplessly, and who doesn't catch a few colds in their lifetime? I'm not like you. So master, do you want to take a rest now, or go to Miss Guanghui's place? Belfast asked with a smile. Go to Guanghui's place. I haven't talked to her properly for a while, Qin Ji said with a smile. Clear. The two of them left the room together and walked toward the glorious room. Knocking on the door, he found that Guanghui was the only one in the room. It seems I came early. Qin Ji walked into the room, took a look, and said with a smile. No, because no one else was invited today, only the commander was invited, Guanghui said with a smile. Okay, Qin Ji touched his nose. Commander, is your health feeling better? Guanghui walked up and took Qin Ji's arm. Qin Ji nodded, it's better. In fact, I think I'm already cured. And it's just a cold, not a serious illness. You still have to pay some attention. By the way, have you finished today's work? If not, I can help the commander, Guanghui asked. That has been completed. When I finished eating in the morning, I asked Giuseppe to bring the documents over for me. I came over after processing them, but I didn't go on patrol today. Giuseppe was a little tired, Qin Ji said apologetically. It's okay. Everyone in the port area knows that the commander is not feeling well, so I believe Miss Giuseppe can understand. Guanghui brought Qin Ji to the table and sat down. It was just a small problem in the first place, but now it has become known to everyone in the port area. I always feel a little embarrassed, Qin Ji said. That's not because the commander is the focus of our port area, so in order to avoid such a thing happening in the future, the commander should take care of his body and never get sick again, Guanghui said. Okay, I'll try my best. After all, no one can say for sure on this matter, Qin Ji shrugged, just like I went to the kitchen goddess for a physical examination a week ago, and there was nothing wrong with it. Who knew that in the past 2 days, I would got a cold? Guanghui smiled sweetly, maybe it's because of the sudden storm in the past 2 days. It rains more during this period. That's right, but when it comes to storms, I'm still worried that they who are currently at the temporary base don't know whether it has been built there, and have they encountered storms while fighting at sea, Qin Ji said. Geographically speaking, the weather there is completely different from ours. Although the storm affected a relatively large area this time, it has not yet reached their place, so the weather should still be fine there, Guanghui said. That's right. I haven't seen them recently, and I always feel a little unfounded, Qin Ji said. At this time, Belfast came over with black tea, put it on the table and said. Didn't the master also read the documents they sent from there today? Since they are in action, it means the weather there is not bad. Indeed, Qin Ji nodded. Forget it, let's not talk about this, Commander, these are some snacks I got from Dunkirk before. You can try them, Guanghui said, pointing to the snacks on the table. I still believe in Dunkirk's craftsmanship, Qin Ji said with a smile, took a small snack and put it in his mouth. It's been a long time since I sat down and had a relaxing chat with the commander like this, Guang Hui said with a smile. Ha, it did take a long time, but it was not more than a month, Qin Ji said. Didn't you go to Elizabeth's place before? The Queen is quite cautious, at least such behavior is really unacceptable, Guang Hui said, holding Qin Ji's arm, with a bright smile on his face. Indeed, there is still a lot of time today anyway, I will accompany you, well, Qin Ji said. Well, that's really great, Guang Hui smiled. It's raining heavily outside, but it's as warm as spring inside the room. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 897. Just as Qin Ji and Guang Hui were enjoying the tender moment, a figure quickly ran out of the communication room in the port area and ran towards the office. But before he could reach the office, he met Giuseppe coming out of the office. Giuseppe, the figure paused and said in surprise. She knew that Giuseppe was Qin Ji's secretary this week. Casablanca? Why are you running so fast, and in the direction of the office building? Is there something going on? Giuseppe asked doubtfully. Where's the commander? Casablanca asked quickly. The commander didn't come to the office today. He didn't have a cold, and it was raining heavily, so today's office is in his bedroom. I just finished today's work, so I came over to place the files and patrol the port district. What's wrong? What do you want from him? Giuseppe asked doubtfully. Is the commander in his room now? Casablanca asked quickly. Probably not. According to what the commander said before I left, he should have gone to Guang Hui to attend a tea party, Giuseppe replied, but what exactly do you want to see the commander for? Sorry, I'm a little anxious. I'm asking for help, Casablanca said. Ask for help? Giuseppe asked doubtfully, what request for help? Today, two camps sent requests for help at the same time, namely the Sardinian Empire and Chongying. The situation is very critical. I have to report to the commander quickly, Casablanca said. Can't you just call me? Giuseppe said. I can't explain it clearly on the phone. I have to tell the commander in person, Casablanca said. I won't tell you anymore. I'm going to see the commander right away. Seeing that Casablanca was about to leave, Giuseppe quickly grabbed her and said, Don't worry, I'll go with you. If we attack, we will definitely need to notify all the major camps. As the secretary's ship, I must be by the commander's side. Casablanca nodded. Hurry up then. Two figures quickly shuttled through the storm and ran towards the location of the dormitory building. Just as Qin Ji and Guang Hui were cuddling and chatting, there was a rapid knock on the door. Qin Ji and Guang Hui were stunned. Who was so anxious? Belfast walked quickly towards the door. When I opened the door, I saw Giuseppe and Casablanca with their hair still a little wet outside. What's the matter with the two ladies? Belfast asked doubtfully. I have something to report to the commander. Is the commander inside now? Casablanca said to Belfast. Before Belfast could answer, Qin Ji's figure appeared in front of Casablanca. I'm here. If you have anything to do, come in and talk about it. Yes, Commander. Casablanca and Giuseppe walked in the door together and saw Guang Hui coming to Qin Ji's side, smiling and nodding to the two of them. I'm very sorry to interrupt the commander's tea party, but now there is very urgent news from the Sardinian Empire and Chongsakura. They are currently being attacked by the Sirens with all their strength, and the pressure they are facing is no less than the last Siren tide. Casablanca said to Qin Ji. Qin Ji was stunned. What did you say? The Sardinian Empire and Zhongyan are now being fully attacked by the Sirens. Yes, Casablanca said, then took out a chart from the ship's installation space, spread it on the table next to him and said to Qin Ji, who was approaching, according to the communication sent by Chongying, the sirens are now concentrated on 3 routes. Troops to attack their Yokosuka port, Tosa Bay, and Ensu Beach. Now their defense is very difficult and they have mobilized almost all their forces to participate in the resistance. And has also notified Dong Huang, requesting Dong Huang for support. Although Dong Huang has agreed, Siren has also activated diversionary tactics and is sending a main force to attack Dong Huang's Bohai Bay. Therefore, even if Dong Huang can send troops, it must first deal with the battle situation in Bohai Bay before it can go smoothly. Go to Chongsakura to fight. So under such circumstances, Shigesakura had no choice but to request support from us. At the same time, a large number of mass-produced sirens appeared in the Mediterranean area near the Sardinian Empire. They also launched a 3-pronged main offensive, attacking the ports of Sardinia, Sicily, and Naples at the same time. Although requests for assistance have been submitted to other approaching camps, according to the latest news, the passage from Iris to the Mediterranean Sea has been controlled by the sirens, and several surrounding forces have also been controlled by several siren main fleets at the same time. The attack was restrained and support could not be provided immediately, so they also sent us a request for help. After hearing Casablanca's report, Qin Ji frowned and said, "It seems that the sirens have started their strategy. They are preparing to bloom in 2 directions. If you want to assist Chongying from Dong Huang, you must choose the nearest route. There must be a large number of sirens across the sea outside the Bohai Bay, or we should just take a long way around. However, there is a battle going on in the Bohai Bay, and the battle lineup must be prioritized. The lineup sent out is relatively weak, and it cannot solve the urgent need at all. The Sardinian Empire is located within the scope of the Mediterranean. As long as the outlet to the sea is blocked, other camps can only look back and sigh while being restrained. This is completely a method of closing the door and beating the dog. Commander, what should we do?" Guanghui asked Qin Ji. "Help," Qin Ji said without hesitation, "this battle will be a very long-lasting battle. This is also a battle for our fleet to be at the forefront and even the leader of the world. So we must support, and, I want thoroughly deploy our fleet in every corner." After saying this, Qin Ji exuded a fierce aura, turned to Giuseppe and said, "Giuseppe, go inform Veneto and Nagato and ask them to come here quickly." "Yes, Commander," Giuseppe said and quickly turned around and left. After Giuseppe left, Qin Ji looked at Casablanca and said, "Casablanca, please go back to the communications room. First contact the experimental site and ask Bismarck to prepare the mass-produced models of 2 large fleets and bring the fleet to the outer port area quickly. Secondly, notify Chongying and the Sardinian Empire to do their best to block the enemy's offensive, but not to be too aggressive and cause unnecessary casualties. Try to preserve your own strength. We will go to support as quickly as possible." "Understood, Commander," Casablanca saluted Qin Ji, then turned around and quickly left the room. "Commander, are you going to send Chongying and people from the Sardinian Empire for this attack?" Guanghui asked. "Yes, most of Kongsakura's main force is still inside the port area. Even if some are transferred out, it doesn't matter. And part of the Sardinian Empire's combat power is outside the port area, distributed around the Solomon Islands, which just allows Veneto to bring someone over to take them with them, and gather them into a team of 10 people with guided missile warships. This time, we are going to let the world know our strength, and all this is for the final battle." Qin Ji said. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 898. Giuseppe was very fast, and not long after he left, Veneto and Nagato appeared in the glorious room. "Commander, I heard from Giuseppe that the situation in all the major camps is relatively tense now. Now both Chongying and Sardinia have issued requests for assistance, Veneto asked Qin-ji. Yes, this is also the purpose why I asked you two to come. The words left by the purifier have finally begun to be implemented. Currently, there are two main attack directions of the Sirens. One is Chongying, and the other is Sardinia Empire. Moreover, they had predicted the defense network we had built before. While attacking Chongying, they also detached a force to attack Donghuang's Bohai Bay. While restraining Donghuang's main force to Bohai Bay, they could avoid them in a short time. To help Chongying. As for the Sardinian Empire, because it is located in the Mediterranean Sea, it only needs to block the outlet to the sea, and it will become an isolated island. Moreover, several major camps along the Atlantic coast are also being attacked by the Sirens at the same time. Although their strength is not as strong as that of the Sardinian Empire, they still cannot separate too many troops, so they are now in a stalemate. Qin-ji explained. Then are you going to let our camp go to help? Nagato asked. That's right, Qin-ji nodded, his eyes becoming sharper. Our fleet now has absolute power among the camps in this world. Although there were reinforcements before, other camps were hostile to our camp. His favorability has improved a lot, but after all, this is just a cooperative relationship. Our enemies in the future will definitely not be simple. We cannot defeat them just relying on the strength of one of our camps, so we have to unite our forces. Integrating the useful forces of this world together is our final trump card in the future battle with arbitration. To achieve this, we must use polite and powerful diplomacy to make them willing to obey us and let us have absolute dominance. This is what we need most for this support. It's still relatively early before the final battle, but we can take this opportunity to implement it one camp at a time until the final battle, complete all integrations, and rely on the power of this world to defeat them. So Commander, when we go to support this time, the most important thing is to promote the majesty of our port area, isn't it? Veneto said excitedly. Yes, I need you to lead the Sardinian Empire back to the Sardinian Empire and spread your power to all corners of the Mediterranean. Qin-ji looked at Veneto and said. This order is really exciting. This has been my dream for a long time. Although I have put this dream on hold for the sake of the commander, I never thought that it would come true again. Commander, please rest assured, I will definitely spread our majesty to every corner of the Mediterranean Sea. Veneto said excitedly. Qin-ji nodded, well, I believe you have this ability. This time you will choose 3 elites under your command. Then you will lead a team of missile warships from our port area to East Timor in the Indonesian archipelago. And from the Sardinian Empire team that rushed over from the Solomon Islands gathered together to form a team of about 10 people, crossing the Indian Ocean, from the Red Sea through the Suez Canal directly to the Mediterranean Sea. If you encounter a Siren fleet on the way, try to avoid it and head to the Sardinian Empire for support as quickly as possible. Veneto nodded, understood. To be on the safe side, I will notify Ember's Flying Eagle, and the Falcon Eagle will accompany you to provide you with air superiority, Qin-ji said. Yes, that would be a big thank you to Commander, Veneto said. Qin-ji turned to look at Nagato. Although Musashi has taken away most of Kongsakura's cutting-edge power, Chongsakura still has many powerful ships in the port area. Nagato, this time you need to choose 9 ships. Let's go to Chongsakura with you. Likewise, I have also prepared a fleet of missile warships for you, and I will also order the Ember Dragon to provide assistance to you. I understand, I will definitely complete the task. Although they were smaller in size, the words coming out of her mouth carried irrefutable power. You have already traveled this route from the port area to Chongsakura several times. I don't need to say more. What you need to pay attention to is the same as what I just told Veneto. Try to leave the Siren fleet as much as possible to rescue. The most important task is to focus on the cherry blossoms, Qin-ji said. I know, if nothing happens, I will prepare now, Nagato said. Qin-ji nodded, go and prepare now. Let me know when you are ready. Yes, Commander. Veneto and Nagato immediately left the glorious room, and Shinji also raised his hand to call Helena. Before she could speak, Helena's laughter was heard from the phone. "Tell me, who do you want to support me?" Shinji was stunned. "You know everything." "Yes. Although they can easily solve this assistance mission with their strength, the commander must be worried about any abnormal situation happening, right? So he asked us to assist. Even if an arbiter appears, it will be safe." "Disengage." "As expected of you, I really think so. So I'm going to ask for 3 people, Feiying, Falcon and Kang Long," Shinji said. "No problem. After all, they have lived in the port area for such a long time and have not experienced combat. They are also a little itchy. It just so happens that this time they can train their ability to cooperate together. I didn't expect that much. It's enough to be able to maintain this mission and complete it safely." Shinji smiled. "Okay, then I'll let them prepare. In addition, several new companions may arrive in a while. The commander will also sign a contract with them." "Huh? Are there new Ember ships coming?" Shinji asked. "Yes, we have sent out our signal in this world, and they are all very interested in you." "Okay, then I understand. Let's wait until they arrive. You can inform them first and gather at the port then," Shinji said. After hanging up the phone, Guang Hui finally breathed a sigh of relief. This made Shinji a little confused. "What's wrong? It feels like you breathed a sigh of relief." "I thought the commander would personally lead the attack this time, so I finally breathed a sigh of relief after hearing what you said," Guang Hui said with a smile. Shinji smiled and said, "It was before, but now it is not my turn to appear in such a scene. Everyone in the port area is very powerful now. I feel that I have no chance to appear at all. Maybe next time I attack, it should be. Is it time for a decisive battle?" "A decisive battle? But even at that time, I still hope that the commander can stay in a safe place," Guang Hui murmured. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 899. The current mobilization force in the port area is already very strong. Almost from the moment Shinji arranged for the Sardinian camp and the Chongying camp to go to support, the entire logistics began to move. Regarding the supplies and equipment that will be used on the road, as well as the ship equipment maintenance that needs to be put into battle, etc., there is no need for the dispatch personnel to worry about it. The logistics office in the port area has already started a one-stop service. All the attack personnel need to do is to prepare themselves for all battles. In fact, ship girls make preparations like this every day, just in case there is a sudden war. Finally, in less than an hour, Shinji had received the prepared messages from the 2 camps. When Shinji, Belfast, and Guang Hui arrived at the port, they found that the place was already full of ship girls seeing them off. "Everyone is here," Shinji said with a smile. "Yes, it's been a long time since we had a battle, so this time it's our official battle with the siren in the port area, so it's natural that we should come here to see him off." Enterprise smiled and said to Shinji, "But the commander looks like this, it always feels a little weird." At this time, Shinji was covered with an orange-yellow light film, which made him stand out in the storm. It was precisely because of this that the company said he was a bit weird. Shinji smiled helplessly. "I originally didn't need it, but Guang Hui said he was worried that my cold would get worse, so he used his own ability to help me make this shield. I only used it to block wind and rain. It was really overkill. Haha, I think Miss Guang Hui did a pretty good job. Comrade Commander is the pillar of our port area. If you fall down due to physical reasons, it will be our fault," Soviet Rosia said with a smile. "Well, I'm not as fragile as you think," Shinji said, looking at Sardin and Chongying, and found that both sides had indeed chosen some strong candidates. For example, on the side of the Sardinian Empire, Veneto led the team, and she was accompanied by the Empire, Zara, and Pompeo. Coupled with Littorio and Rome in the Solomon Islands, the entire Veneto class is dispatched, and this combat power can definitely be frightening. As for Shigesakura, she also came out with all the best, led by Nagato. She was accompanied by the first flight to fight Akage Kaga, the second flight to fight Soryu Filong and Atago, Zhongfeng, Beifeng, Fengyun, and the Wine Barbers. It can be said that the power of the Ember Azure Dragon can dominate the entire Chongying airspace even before it is deployed. It seems that you are ready, Qin-Ji said to the people surrounded with a smile. Yes, Commander Veneto smiled, actually, there is nothing prepared. I have made so many preparations before, isn't it just for this moment? That's right, Qin-Ji smiled, glanced at the empire that was peeking behind Veneto, and couldn't help but said, look after the empire on the way. Before Veneto could respond, the empire spoke up first. The empire is amazing. To be great, the empire doesn't need anyone to look after it. If it's Sister Veneto, that's fine. Qin-Ji couldn't help laughing after hearing this, and Veneto also laughed and said, haha, the empire is right, the empire is a great child, but don't worry, Commander, I will definitely take care of her. Well, I have already sent someone to notify the Sardinian fleet on the front line and ask them to join you in East Timor, so you must remember to gather your troops before setting off, Qin-Ji warned. Yes, Commander Veneto smiled. Qin-Ji turned to look at Chongying and said to Akage, don't be too radical this time. It's best to confirm the Siren's target and then carry out follow-up actions. Why should you tell Akage but not Nagato? In fact, when Nagato selected this lineup, the decision-making power had already fallen into Akage's hands. Although Nagato was the flagship, how could she outplay Akage with her little brain? Haha, don't worry, Commander Akage agreed. However, such an answer always made Qin-Ji feel a little guilty. Because of Akage's personality, he knew it too well. If there was a chance, even if there was only a small chance, she would dare to use all her strength. Qin-Ji nodded, then looked at Kang Long beside him. Kang Long, I'll leave it to you this time. Soryu understood what it meant in an instant and smiled, don't worry, Commander, we will definitely unite with the people from the Chongsakura camp to provide support this time. Qin-Ji nodded, and then walked to Nagato. He did not touch his head as usual, but smiled and said, Nagato, this is your first battle as the flagship, and you encountered a problem. You can refer to Akage's opinions on Kang Long and do a good job in this support mission. I understand, Nagato nodded. At this moment, the crowd behind them suddenly became commotion. At this moment, everyone looked towards the entrance of the inner port area, where dozens of warships suddenly appeared densely. That is it, Filong said with some surprise, are those mass-produced ships in our port area? Qin-Ji nodded, yes, those are the mass-produced warships in our port area. They are all driven by Rubik's Cube power, so mass-produced models like that do not need to replenish oil, and their speed can keep up with yours speed. When I went to the experimental site, I just took a look at it. I didn't expect it to look so spectacular now. It seems that Bismarck and the others have really put in a lot of effort, Veneto praised. Indeed, these mass-produced warships are missile-type warships that can launch attacks when they are far away from the enemy. The aircraft carrier determines the enemy's position, and then the guided missile warship carries out the attack. You can use less force along the way. But the best thing is what I said before, if you can avoid those siren fleets, avoid them, ensure full speed sailing, and arrive at the support location as early as possible. Qin-Ji said. Yes, Commander, everyone responded. Then let's set off. I wish you good luck in martial arts, Qin-Ji said. Yes. Following Qin-Ji's order, several blue lights flashed above the port, and several huge warships appeared in the port. The ship girls who had been transformed into ships used their ability to transform into ships at this moment. Completely transforming their ship equipment into a battleship, they began their first expedition as a ship. Watching several behemoth ships disappear into the inner port, Qin stood there feeling unable to calm down for a long time. I remember that when he came to this world, he was almost killed by a cannon alone. Who would have thought that now he has the power to destroy the world? This is really sad. Commander, it's time to go back. Enterprise smiled at Qin. Yes, Qin nodded, looked at the sea and the storm and said to Enterprise, Enterprise, the storm is getting bigger and bigger. But it doesn't affect our attack, Enterprise laughed. Yeah, it doesn't affect our victory. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 900. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and beneath the dark clouds was a sea full of smoke. There are fires rising in the distance, and even standing here, you can hear the faint sound of artillery shells coming from there. Xianghe released the carrier-based aircraft in waves, and his movements seemed like a machine. She no longer knew how long she had been standing here, 1 day or 2 days. In short, since the Sirens attacked Chang'e, he has been standing here, helping the fleet in front and providing air superiority in the airspace. Until, a palm patted her shoulder. Sister Xianghe, go and rest for a while, leave this place to me for now. Hearing a familiar voice, Xianghe turned his head mechanically and looked at Ruhi behind him with a slightly haggard face. How's it going? Ruhi shook his head. No, there are fewer awakened ship girls in Donghuang than us, so the Sirens also took this into account. They pretended to attack Bohai Bay in a large scale, and sent Donghuang's awakened ship girls away. It was firmly fixed there, making it impossible for them to support it. Even if they choose to take a detour, there are still a large number of Siren fleets walking on the sea. If they are not careful, they will encounter an ambush. I am afraid it will be a long time before support arrives. What about the other people? Where is Commander Qin's fleet? Isn't he also under attack? Xianghe asked anxiously. Ruhi finally showed a smile. No, it's just that during the last meeting, Commander Qin already said that this time the Sirens are targeting us, not him. We have contacted him before, and there is no Siren harassment at his place. And according to the latest news, his fleet is already on its way, but it will take about 2 days to arrive. 2 days, Xianghe turned to look at the battlefield. I know that 2 days is very fast, but with the current situation, can it really support 2 days? This time the Siren mass production model is still, although there are not as many elite units as last time, their power is definitely much stronger than last time. Although we can hold on now, the new commander below will be seriously injured. After 2 days, how many commanders will be alive? There is nothing we can do about this. This time we have put all our strength into it. Nagato-sama led people to Tosa Bay, Soryu and Fi Long led people to the battlefield on the other side. We have tried our best to resist Rui, he said helplessly. So Sister Xianghe, please go and rest quickly. Now is not the time to show off. We top forces must maintain our full combat power in order to provide sufficient effect on the battlefield. I understand. Then Ziwihi, you must withstand the pressure here before I come, try to eliminate as many of their carrier-based aircraft as possible, and provide sufficient airspace firepower support for our personnel, Xianghe said. I see. As Ziwihi spoke, a series of planes appeared on her deck and took off in an instant, flying towards various airspaces like a goddess scattering flowers. Seeing this scene, Xianghe took back his carrier-based aircraft, turned around and rode towards the command post on the shore. This is destined to be a difficult defensive battle. In addition to the awakening ship girl, the ordinary fleet is also changing defenses. The commander and the ship's wife are even more incomparable. Their fighting time at sea only lasts a day or half a day, and they have to change defenses every time. One is to replenish supplies, and the other is to relieve tension. And this scene happened not only in Chongqing, but also in the Sardinian Empire. "How's it going?" Littorio, Veneto in Naples said to Littorio on the communicator. "The situation is still very dangerous, but it is a little better than at the beginning. The ship girls and commanders of Iris and Vichy camp in Algeria tore a hole and boarded the island. With their support, it is finally possible to support for a while longer," Littorio's image said. "Where are you?" "My place is relatively good. Yesterday, the iron-blooded support fleet arrived at Iris by plane, and now they are rushing here by train. Although they cannot wipe out all the Siren fleet here, at least they can delay it for a while," Veneto said. "Where in Rome?" Littorio asked. "Her situation is the same as yours, and it can last for a while," Veneto replied. "Then our only hope now is to wait for Commander Chinji's fleet to come to the rescue?" Littorio asked. "Yes, I have contacted Commander Chinji's port area before. They said that the rescue fleet has left and is expected to arrive in about another week," Veneto said. "A week, so fast?" Littorio said, a little surprised, "although I am grateful for their support, but a week is too fast. They have to cross the Atlantic and Pacific to get here. Moreover, we have to tear apart the obstructing Siren fleet. No matter what, 1 week won't be enough, right?" "No, Littorio, you are wrong. The road from Guam to the Mediterranean is not that way," Veneto said. "Could it be? Are they going to cross the Indian Ocean and come from the Red Sea?" Littorio reacted instantly and said in surprise. "That's right, according to the description given to me by Commander Chinji's port ship girl, this is the route they chose," Veneto said. "This route is not easy to follow. There are many Siren fleets scattered there," Littorio said. "Even if their ship girls are powerful, it will take several days to pass there. Actually, I asked this question, and the answer I got was just to wait patiently. It seems that they have made preparations, but the specific information was not given to me. They just said that this time there are Ember ship girls accompanying the team," Veneto said. "Are there any Embers?" "That's understandable. After all, they are very powerful. The last battle in the Atlantic Ocean left a deep impression on me," Littorio said. "So you have to work hard to hold on. As soon as they enter the Mediterranean area, our pressure will be greatly reduced," Veneto said. "Well, and it seems that we must start the construction of the public port area. Commander Chinji is right. The subsequent battle is definitely not one that can be proven to be resisted. It requires unity and cooperation," Littorio said. "Indeed, but these matters cannot be discussed in detail until this matter is completed. After that, I wonder if I can discuss with Commander Chinji and let him station a team of ship girls in our waters," Veneto said. "This matter is of great importance. We can only discuss it later. A new wave of attacks is coming again. I will cut off the link first," Littorio said suddenly and hastily. "Well, I think it should be fast here, so let's hold on together. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 901. According to our speed, how long will it take to reach Yokosuka? Nagato stood on the bow of his own battleship and looked into the distance. On both sides of her were Akagakaga from the first air battle and Soryufi Long from the second air battle. Several others were conducting reconnaissance on the flanks and in the front, and behind them was a fleet-organized mass-produced missile warship. Reporting to Lord Shenzi, "It will take half a day to reach Yokosuka at our speed." Fenjiun's voice rang in the communicator. "Is there still half a day left?" Nagato blinked, and then said, "Akage, you were the leader of Chongqing before. According to your estimation, can they survive?" "Of course there is no problem in holding on, but the 2 blows before and after will definitely consume Chongqing's vitality again. If there is another sudden battle like this, it may not be able to last so long," or we may have to give up a section of the place. Akaga's voice appeared in the communicator, and there was a hint of anxiety in it. After all, the first place she stayed was Chongying. After staying there for decades, she followed Qin Ji and entered his fleet. After this war is over, I will discuss with the commander to see if we should station the entire fleet in Chongsakura to prepare for ongoing battles, Nagato said softly. Nagato-sama, we can't take the initiative to talk about this matter when the time comes, even to the commander, Soryu said. Why? Nagato was stunned. Because of dignity, Akaga said leisurely. Nagato suddenly became speechless. I'm sorry, I forgot, the heavy cherry blossoms here are not our heavy cherry blossoms. Haha, it doesn't matter. Lord Shenzi is kind, which is a good thing for us. But in the future, we should leave it to us. We don't need to say it explicitly, just reveal some meaning. Didn't the commander say before that he hoped that all major camps would establish public port areas? I think this is a very good argument. At that time, we can send a fleet to station in the public port area. If Chongying encounters such a thing again in the future, we can also provide them with help. Kang Long said, pushing up his glasses. Well, I'll have to worry about you guys from now on, Nagato whispered. Leave it to us. Lord Shenzi only needs to command our combined fleet, Kang Long said. The sound in the communicator gradually faded away, and the signal returned to silence. Nagato stood at the bow of the boat and couldn't help but sigh. Sad war, I hope we can usher in the day when swords can be forged into plowshares. Time gradually passed, and finally, Kaga's voice sounded from the communicator. Attention, there are a large number of siren fleets ahead. It seems that we are almost close to the enemy fleet. Received, Lord Shenzi, it's time to give the order. Akaga's voice rang, we are close to the enemy's rear, and it is best to launch a surprise attack at this time. Nagato, who was standing on the bow of the ship, took a deep breath and looked at the cloudy sea ahead. Everyone, prepare for battle. Yes. On the huge sea, several warships moving forward suddenly turned into a blue brilliance, shrouding a few people slowly floating on the sea. After those brilliance, there were a group of ship girls carrying them on their backs. Ship outfit. Black Soryu, the mass-produced missile warships in the port area are left to you to control. Unless the situation gets out of control, you'd better not take action to avoid attracting the Arbiter and causing greater losses, Nagato said to the communicator. Black Kanglong is also the Kanglong of Embers. This is also the name that everyone on the road thinks of. After all, there were two Kanglongs in the fleet. If they were not face to face, the information would easily be misleading, so they shouted separately. I understand, I will control the mass-produced missile warship and watch from behind, Ember Kanglong replied through the communicator. She had no objection to this arrangement. Thank you, Nagato nodded, and she also landed on the water. The formation gradually closed up, and she could already see the smoke ahead, as well as the mass-produced siren battleships all over the sea. Combined fleet, crush the enemy. A majestic voice emerged from Nagato's mouth, and in an instant, everyone in the Chongsakura fleet was covered with a layer of red aura. Everyone who received this aura bonus couldn't help but feel that they had improved a bit. Even Akaga looked at Nagato in surprise. Although he had experienced battles with Nagato before, Nagato at that time was not as powerful as he is today, so the level of bonuses was relatively average. But now Nagato has at least increased her strength by 20%. It's time to fight, for the commander. With Akaga's exaggerated smile, red fighter planes took off one after another from her deck. At the same time, blue fighter planes took off one after another on Kaga's deck behind Akaga, as did Soryu and Filong on the other side. For a time, the sky was filled with carrier-based aircraft groups. At first glance, they looked like locusts, covering the entire sky. Those carrier-based aircraft rushed forward at extremely high speeds, several times faster than ordinary ship-based aircraft. Looking up at the carrier-based aircraft passing overhead, Atago smiled and said to a few people on the side and in front, "Haha, everyone has started to take action. We also have to show our strength, so let us clear the obstacles for the commander." Yes. The clear voice of everyone rang out from the communicator, and everyone rushed towards the mass-produced siren cluster ahead with high fighting spirit. Apparently at this time, when he looked at the mass-produced ship, he had already discovered the Chongying people attacking from behind. However, turning the ship around at this juncture was a futile option. They saw carrier-based aircraft passing over their heads at high speed, and countless flaming aerial bombs were poured out like rain. A huge explosion resounded through the sky, and even above the sea, a wall of fire tens of meters high actually exploded. The Atago people following the carrier-based aircraft fired their guns while rushing towards the wall of fire without any scruples. Wherever they passed, all the mass-produced siren battleships were sunk. This kind of battle could no longer be called fighting, but should be called crushing. Under the concentrated firepower, no mass-produced warship could withstand a salvo of artillery fire from them. The balance of the battle turned into a one-sided situation from the beginning. In the distance, Ruhi's carrier-based aircraft naturally detected this shocking scene. She stood there for a long time without making a sound. "Ruhi, what's wrong? Could it be that the sirens are launching a large-scale attack again?" Xianghe, who was on the side, couldn't see it because he had just recovered the carrier-based aircraft. When he saw his sister suddenly stopping the attack, he asked in confusion. Ruhi woke up with a start, and then looked at Xianghe excitedly. "Sister Xianghe, reinforcements. They are reinforcements. They are coming. Ah! My ship girl, my world." Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 902. The Siren attack fleet, which had originally formed a front, was instantly torn open by the attack of Chongying's group. Once the solid front is broken, the outcome can be imagined. As missiles were launched one after another from the rear, coupled with the firepower from the front, the battlefield almost became one-sided. People in the Chongying camp on the opposite side discovered that the Siren mass production fleet, which had been weighing them down, was actually collapsing under the attack of this force. Especially the carrier-based aircraft roaring in the sky. Every time they landed on top of those fleets, they would turn into a sea of fire. There were also things that fell from the sky, similar to cannonballs. Although they could not directly destroy those Siren mass-produced warships, the blows they caused the main guns of those warships to misfire, or the rotation of the turrets stopped. No one could have imagined that such a difficult offensive and defensive battle could turn the situation around in an instant. The Sirens became the passive party, and the hunters turned out to be a small group of ship girls. Only Ziwihi and the others, who were not far behind, knew that it was no longer just an ordinary ship girl. It was a ship, the transformed prototype of a ship girl. They had gotten rid of their identities as forgeries. "Is this the true strength of Commander Qin Ji's fleet?" Xianghe said with emotion. "I'm afraid so. It seems that the decision made by Akagi and Kaga-senpai to leave Shigisakura was not just a joke. They really had foresight," Ziwikaku said with a breath. "Ruhi is envious," Xianghe said with a smile. Ruhi shook his head. "No, I'm just happy for the two seniors. After all, they were the only ones who could make a desperate decision under the circumstances like that, and now they just got what they deserved thing. Senior is indeed a senior. He has indeed seen some things that we cannot see. But fortunately, we Chongying also maintain a close relationship with Commander Qin Ji. Otherwise, if there are a few more attacks like this, I'm afraid Sakura will completely disappear from this world," Xianghe said, full of sighs and reluctance. "Sister, don't think about these things. Now Commander Qin Ji's fleet is helping us break through those Siren mass-produced fleets. Now it's time to sound the clarion call for counterattack. Let us attack from both sides and eliminate this enemy as soon as possible. You must know that other places are still facing danger, Ruhi said after reacting. Well, then let's go together, Xiang, he said seriously. The order from the Chongsakura camp quickly spread throughout the sea area, causing the commanders who were originally shocked by the destructive power of this ship girl team to react in an instant. Yes, now that there is such strong support, it is time to vent the anger that has been suppressed before on this group of siren mass-produced fleets. Countless signals intersect over the sea area, like horns soaring into the sky, constantly inspiring the front-line ship girls to continue fighting and the dawn of victory so close away. The battle did not last long, and the collapsed three-person mass production line had been defeated one by one. Even though some commanders and ship girls were sacrificed in this counterattack, everyone's face was filled with the joy of victory. Their victory is the best response to the commanders and ship girls who died fighting to protect Chongsakura. We won, Ruhi said excitedly. Rukaku, now is not the time to get excited. Our guests are already waiting there. As the commander-in-chief of this battle, it is time for you to greet them, he said as he glided over from the side. Well, I'm so happy. If you didn't remind me, I almost made a mistake, Ziwa, he quickly replied, and then skated towards the place where Chin-Ji's squadron was. Soon she and Nagato were waiting. People bumped heads. Senior, thank you very much for coming so far to support me. If it weren't for your support, I don't know when this battle would have ended, Ziwakaku said to Nagato and Akagi and others beside her. Haha, Chongying can be considered my hometown. If something happens here, we will naturally not ignore it. And we have also signed a cooperation agreement. This is also to support the safety of our allies, Akagi said with a smile. Thank you so much, Ziwa, he said. Haha, no need to thank you. Let's hit the wrong battlefield as soon as possible. If you don't mind, we would like to take a rest and replenish our supplies before supporting the next place. After all, we have come here all the way, and wearing ship uniforms is not a big problem. But once the ship is out of gear, it becomes a bit difficult, Atago said with a smile. No problem, but it's just that Zhonying is going through a battle right now, so I can't thank you all properly. After the battle is over, I will definitely invite you to the celebration banquet, Ziwa, he said quickly. Chongying is indeed quite far from Guam, and it will take several days to reach it if you travel all your way. Just like what Atago said before, when wearing a ship uniform and having the Rubik's Cube as a source of energy, he would not be so trapped. But as soon as the ship uniform is taken off, fatigue will sweep over everyone. If they don't take a good rest, the next support battle may be greatly reduced. Ziwa can also understand that now is not the time to ask the other party, but to rest for a while, believing that Kongo and Nagato can withstand it. So under the leadership of Ruhi, everyone came to the temporary headquarters, gave Ruhi a few simple supplies, and then entered a state of rest. By the time everyone woke up, it was already afternoon. At this time, the wreckage of the sirens on the sea had not yet been cleared, but this did not affect their continued efforts to rescue other areas under attack. Soon everyone set sail and continued to move towards the next battle area under the afterglow of the setting sun. It was the same as the previous battle, but the difference was that this time the battle took place at night. The siren had no defense and was caught off guard. Under the attack of the ship girl team with explosive intensity at this moment, the entire front line was crumbling. Combined with the flagships including Nagato, they attacked from the front and back and ate up the mass-produced siren fleet in this area. After completing the battle here, everyone did not ask for a rest this time, but went directly to the third area that was under attack. When the sky slowly brightened, the fighting on the sea finally stopped. With the efforts of everyone, this wave of siren attacks was finally resisted. Although the entire sea area is like purgatory, with flames burning everywhere and the wreckage of siren mass production battleships everywhere. But boiling cheers kept coming from the sea, including the excited voices of the ship girls and of course the excited voices of the commander. While people were celebrating this hard-won victory, they saw the fleet led by Nagato heading towards Yokosuka port again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Hwangming Muji. Chapter 903. It's up to you this time. At the banquet of Shigisakura's main island, Shigisakura's Nagato looked at himself and Akage Kaga next to him, and said something rather complicated. It doesn't matter, this is you Chongying and our Minato area have agreed to cooperate. When either party is in crisis and the other party receives assistance, they must do their best to assist the other party. And we are also fulfilling this kind of cooperation, so we don't need too many thanks. This is the content of our cooperation. Nagato originally wanted to say it more officially, but seeing the slightly haggard face of him across the way, he finally couldn't bear to say it in an official way. Ziwihi of Chongying shook his head. Although I say so, it is precisely because of your help that Chongying can survive this critical moment, otherwise Chongying's fate will be really uncertain in the future. Once again, on behalf of the Chongying camp, all the commanders of Chongying, and all the people, I would like to thank you all. Haha, although we met not long ago, but this time, I suddenly found that as juniors, you have already taken on responsibilities. It seems that you have grown a lot. Akage looked at Ruhi and smiled sweetly. Said. Senior, don't make fun of us, but having said that, when we met our seniors before, they were not much different from us. Could it be that after leaving Chongsakura, we went back to undergo ship transformation? Ziwihi asked. That's right, your observations are quite meticulous, much better than your sister who only knows how to talk, Akage said with a hint. Ziwihi grinned. The issue of not dealing with his sister and Akage has become a textbook example. Even if they are not in the same camp now, it seems impossible to forget the quarrel. Can I take the liberty to ask? How many ship girls are there who have been transformed like you in Commander Shinji's port area now? Nagato looked at Akage in confusion. Lord Shenzi, don't be cautious. Although I have left Chongying before, answering these questions is not a core secret. However, because during this period, I have not paid attention to anything since I was transformed, so I only know a general idea. That's all, Akage said. Currently, there are about 200 ships in the port area, and as subsequent steel resources are gradually in place, this number will continue to increase. If all the ships in the port area are to be successfully converted, I am afraid it will take more than half a year. Time. Is it so strong? A team of 10 people is already so strong, with more than 200 ships. No wonder the sirens don't use you as experimental targets now. It seems that they also know the same old tricks and are of no use to you, Ziwihi said in surprise. Although we have become stronger now, being stronger means that new enemies have appeared. The Sirens Experimental Agency is indeed not targeting us now, but the Arbitration Agency has already targeted us. They believe that the changes in this world have been excessive and have completely exceeded some procedures, so we need to be arbitrated and cleaned up, and naturally you are among these places. This is the reason why the Siren Tide broke out last time. The reason why we were able to get through the most difficulty was because the embers disrupted the situation and gave us a period of respite. But now is not the time to relax our vigilance. The Siren Experimental Agency will take more and more actions in the future. Now they have launched a full-scale attack. Not only your Sakura camp, but this time the Sardinian Empire also sent us a message. Request for assistance. So no matter what happens next, it will be a challenge for us. I hope you can clearly understand some of what our commander said in the previous meeting. Nagato said. Ziwihi and Shigisakura's Nagato looked at each other and could feel the pressure from each other. I understand, no matter what, thank you for your support this time, Ruhi said, then let's rest here for a few more days, and we can also fulfill our friendship as landlords. Haha, it's not necessary to rest for a few more days, but I do have a question to ask. My commander previously proposed a public port area. I wonder how the construction of Chongying's public port area is going? Can people live in it now? Are the facilities complete? Can it be self-supplied? Akagi asked. The public port area in Chongying is under construction, but it is basically completed. There is not much problem in settling in Ziwa, he said, but you are our guests in Chongying, how can we let you live in the public port area? As before, we will specially arrange some accommodation for you to live in. Wrong, you didn't understand what I meant. Akagi looked at Ziwikaku. After our fleet is repaired, we will leave Chongsakura and return to our port area. However, Kang Long, Filong, Liquor, Beifeng and the others plan to stay in Chongying for a while and have fun here, so in order not to disturb you, it is better to live in the public port area. It turns out they have to stay here for a while. If that's the case, there's no need to go to so much trouble. Just let us arrange it. Ruhi didn't react for a moment and said straightforwardly. After the words fell, Nagato Shigeyaku sighed and said to Akagi, thank you for your kindness. Shigeyaku really needs such a force at the moment, and we will build the public port area as soon as possible. Before that, I would like to trouble Kang Long and Filong to stay at the reception desk for the time being. Once the construction of the public port area is completed, I will immediately send someone to notify them and let them move in. Akagi looked at Chongying's Nagato with a smile, then I'm sorry to trouble you, Lord Shenzi. Since our people here will consume some resources, for the sake of fairness, if there are some incidents similar to this one in Chongying, you can notify us. Those who are here for sightseeing, I believe they will not hesitate to lend a helping hand. I understand. Nagato nodded. She understood that maybe this was the meaning of the existence of the public port area. Akagi told all this in such extremely euphemistic words, so that Shigeyaku wouldn't have to be so embarrassed when accepting it. Akagi nodded and glanced at the confused Ziwahi. It seems that the juniors still need to continue to work hard. Okay, now is the time to celebrate, so let's not talk about this. Let's go over and tell Kang Long about this news. I believe she will be very happy. After saying this, Akagi and Nagato left here, leaving only Nagato, who was in the middle of Sakura, and Ziwahi, who looked confused. Sir Kamiko, what did Senior mean just now? Ziwikaku looked at Nagato in confusion. From now on, Commander Chin-Ji's fleet will send a fleet of ships to station in Chongying for a long time to prevent Chongying from appearing again, like this time. Although he meant well, such a thing would hurt Sakura's face after all, so Akagi just said that a group of ships would stay for sightseeing for a while, and named them to stay in the public port area. When Nagato said this, he paused and turned to look at Ziwahi. Do you understand now? Ruhi was a little helpless, but more thankful. I understand. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 904. While Chongying was celebrating his victory, Veneto was also leading people through the Suez Canal. We are about to enter the Mediterranean Sea, everyone is ready to enter combat mode, Veneto shouted on the Tencent channel. Are you a little too vigilant, or in a hurry? Now the sirens in the entire Mediterranean are besieging the Sardinian forces. They should not have deployed much defense force here. Litario's voice appeared. I think Lord Veneto is right, Duke Abruzzi said. No matter whether there are enemies ahead or not, we should be vigilant, because as soon as we enter the Mediterranean, we will be very close to Sardinia's sphere of influence. We may appear behind the mass-produced siren fleet at any time. As long as we are ready for battle at any time, we can launch a surprise attack at that time and attack front and back with the Sardinian Empire to jointly destroy the siren and serve the purpose of support. Haha, don't be so serious. I'm just joking. I've traveled such a long distance just for this moment, isn't it? Littorio said with a smile. After all, this is the first time that our Sardinian Empire has carried out such a long-distance support mission. Although we also conducted ocean operations with the commander last time, that was when the commander led the team. The current situation is different. This time, our Sardinian camp is performing the mission alone, so we must do a good job so that our camp status in the heart of the commander can be greatly improved. Veneto smiled. Haha, it is indeed the commander's wedding ship. You are thoughtful, Veneto Roma said with a smile. This has nothing to do with the commander's wedding ship. Isn't it our dream to spread the power of Sardinia all over the sea area? Now we are about to reach the moment when our dream will come true, so everyone must not relax, Veneto said. Yes. While Veneto was doing what seemed like mobilization in front of the station, Qin-Ji, who was in the port area, was listening to the battle report coming back from Chongying. Commander, this time the Chongying support was very successful. The attack destroyed hundreds of Siren warships, and it is estimated that the lives of hundreds of Chongying commanders were saved. And now the mass production of Sirens in Chongying has been completed. Got control. There is one more thing I need to tell you, and that is that Nagato said in his report that he is preparing to send a team of our ship girls to the public port area of Chongsakura. And this matter is completely responsible for the Chongqing camp, and a monthly rotation system is implemented. The candidates for the first month are Kanglong, Filong, Baifeng, Fenjiun and Atago. In the next month, a team of Chongqing ship girls will be dispatched from the port area to take turns to ensure that when a crisis occurs in Chongqing, we will have a team of people there. Moreover, Chongying is relatively close to Donghuang. If there is a crisis in Donghuang, support can be provided from Chongying. In addition, Donghuang's current battle in the Bohai Bay is not over yet. Nagato asked if he would provide support. Giuseppe looked at the document in his hand and reported to Qin-Gei. Qin-Ge blinked. Oh, settling in the public port area? I didn't expect it to go so smoothly, but did Chongying really agree? Or is it mandatory? After all, the current public port area is, to put it bluntly, to represent one's willingness to cooperate and not to exclude the cooperation of others. Because all the major camps are currently being harassed by Sirens, basically no one will send a team of ship girls to the public port areas of other camps to stand by unless necessary. Having said that, in the current public port area, it is only possible for Qin-Ge to send generals to move in. According to the information, they informed in a very euphemistic way, and they also had the consent of the other party, Nagato. Giuseppe said. That's right, Chongying has been hit twice, and her combat power has not yet been restored to its full strength. Now it is a time of drought. Our fleet is stationed in the public port area to provide them with the last layer of protection. A good thing, Qin-Ge nodded. And using euphemisms can ensure that the relationship does not develop in a bad direction. Speaking of which, judging from the battle report sent by the communications department today, what is the situation in Donghuang? Donghuang's front line is in a state of heavy defense, or in other words, it is simply a state of defense. Using the awakened ship girls to cooperate with the shore defense artillery, coupled with the defensive front formed by the commander, there is still no problem in defense. After all, although the main attack direction this time was Chongying, Donghuang was just holding them back, which was regarded as harassment. Giuseppe said. Qin-Ge nodded. Inform them that if necessary, they can go to Donghuang as a guest when they come back. Isn't there a batch of steel that will be transported from Donghuang recently? I just want to be a guard. Understood, I will pass it on to them, Giuseppe said. By the way, how is the situation in the Sardinian Empire? Qin-Ge asked. The reports sent by Veneto in the past 2 days show how far they are from the Sardinian Empire. According to the report sent last night, they are located in the Red Sea. Today they should be crossing the Suez Canal and reaching the Mediterranean. There may be a battle soon, Giuseppe said. It seems to be pretty fast. I thought it would take more time, Shinji said with a smile. Lord Veneto basically fulfilled what the commander said before, trying not to have too much contact with the Siren fleet on the sea, so he would not be slowed down by the battle. Basically, he followed the established plan. Route, that's why it's so fast, Giuseppe explained. Well, let me inform Veneto that he will follow Nagato's example and be more tactful and let one of our fleets stay in the public port area of the Sardinian Empire. If a battle breaks out over there, we can attack quickly from there. Shinji said. Then are we going to continue to shoot a few more teams of ship girls over there? If it's just one team of ship girls, I'm afraid they will be overwhelmed if they encounter some all-out attack, Giuseppe said. With the example set by the Sardinian Empire, I believe that other camps will also consider this issue. When the time comes, they will send corresponding fleets to the public ports of other camps to provide support, Shinji said with a smile. Understood. When Lord Veneto reports the battle today, I will pass on the commander's thoughts to her, Giuseppe said. Well, pay attention to exchanging specific information with each camp in a timely manner, and master all the Sirens' offensive intentions in this world, so that our port area can have enough initiative in future battles. The current moment is different from the past. When we, the master of Minato City, have such strength, it is time for us to stand forward and act as the flag bearer. Shinji said with a smile. Haha, indeed, there is no one else in this world who can serve as a flag bearer except us, Giuseppe said. Then that's it for today. If you have any new information, please report it to me in time. Yes, Commander.